So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I often get asked, Rob, when are you going to, start doing whatever it is you do on the internet? I don't know, I don't watch. I've seen one or two videos. When are you going to start doing that professionally? Making a name for yourself. And to that I say, wow, I appreciate your enthusiasm. But to answer your question, I am working on it. As you can see from my obvious drop in quality and the fact that the show is based in New York, however I live in Southwest Florida. Yeah, it's a work in progress. But despite being nagged, you gotta know, people work hard to get where they want to be in their career. It takes them years to, become part of panels at conventions, having articles written about them, good or bad press, at least your name's out there. You gotta keep a reputation. And like they say, Rob, you're not that far off. You just gotta get out there more. And I agree, because there are people selling out stadiums, selling out Madison Square Garden. I'm selling out, We're on a whole nother level. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez, and it's good to be back from this most recent hiatus. I swear, these happen so often, they should really become union sanctioned. But alas, I'm just lazy. I did shave, however. So I hear disses about fast food chains all the time, and this isn't just coming from the official Twitter account of Wendy's. I swear, just put the Twitter account from Wendy's and Donald Trump's Twitter in the same room, I'm pretty sure the world would implode. Not gonna lie. But this joke that everybody makes about McDonald's, I'm starting to not really get it anymore. Because the last time I was at McDonald's, the ice cream machine was actually working. I was so tempted to ask when its shift was over. I'm sorry about the awkward silence. There was supposed to be a drum riff there. Not sure what happened. Alright, so, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, They can feel however they want about the world around us. And what this show delivers. But there you are. What took you so long? Hey, don't backsass me. We already have a puppet that does that. And besides, be grateful I didn't use canned laughter. Oh, sure. Throw your drumsticks like a child. Listen, just sit back and be quiet like the little percussion that could, okay? So there's an old saying, everybody is a critic. Now, I'm sure most of you resent that. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you watched a movie and after watching it you were like, another actor would have been so great in this role? Yeah, a little stale, not gonna lie. I heard she's Julia Roberts' niece. A little shaky. Or the last time you sat down at dinner and thought to yourself, could have used more salt. And it was just a ham and cheese. Or even the last time you babysat a kid and you thought to yourself, wow, this kid is so wimpy and sensitive, he looks like butterflies chase him. In the words of good old Jeff Foxworthy, if you agreed with any of those things, you might be a critic. I don't know where that would have went, but good thing we made the right turn. Take this for instance. When the Super Bowl halftime show this year came around, it was J-Lo and Shakira, and it received some mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people didn't. And I'll be honest, it gave me flashbacks of the Christmas party, not gonna lie. But you gotta admit, it was way better than Maroon 5. Even SpongeBob couldn't save that. Speaking of SpongeBob, anyone else just picture this? Now I can sleep easy knowing that I made a meme. Okay, how about this? The Mandalorian, the Star Wars thing on Disney Plus. It's pretty good. I mean, based on the photos I've seen, but you know me, always judging a book by its cover, so I have to look into the show, I guess, if I didn't procrastinate so much. But in opinion, we all think Baby Yoda brought the world together as a whole. Yeah, we can use that Baby Groot as firewood and that Baby Mr. Peanut as trail mix to keep Baby Yoda fed and warm. But where does Baby Gru from Minions 2 step in? I don't know, he can watch. I don't care. But you gotta remember, sometimes opinion can be mean. Like, I'll be frank, I was made fun of a lot as a kid because of my ear and how I look. Kids used to tell me all the time, "Hey, Elf, can you tell Santa what I want for Christmas?" "Cleveland Jr., are you going home to Daddy?" "You're a grown man, what are you doing in the toy department?" Well, we have a lot of show to fill, so that being said, I'm going to need a minute. So I'm 23 years old now, and I think I still got a lot of fight left in me to stay young at heart. But here's the thing, I got some severe FOMO. And I don't know, I feel like I'm getting into things way too late and going back to things that no one else cares about. I mean, all my celebrity crushes are pushing 40. I don't know. I always feel like I'm showing my age because I constantly reference and quote things from a long time ago. Like, let's say something like plugs out of the wall, and then I'm like, oh, Glade. Remember Glade? Plug it in, plug it in. Not only that, but during one of my last hangouts, I really showed my age, not gonna lie. Because we had such a great time, and then when it was over I said, it was so cute. It was a Kodak moment. And then she said, "What's a Kodak?" There was a more colorful way of saying that, but I'm old. I can't believe I'm saying this again, but I'm on TikTok, and I see all these trends come and go, and like all these lifestyles and these things these kids are doing. I mean, I hope they don't hurt themselves, like I hope they don't get hurt doing trying to do a new trend that turns out to be completely dangerous, and then the Visco girls start falling over and getting skull fractures. You don't want that happening. It's time for that weekly list known as the possibility list. It's kind of like burying a shovel. What are you going to dig it back up with? Alright, this week's list is titled 5 Things You Shouldn't Block Off with a Wet Floor Sign. Alright, I put some thought into this. And number 5, thirst tweets. Number 4, mom spaghetti. Number 3, your stalker. Number 2, Kevin's famous chili. And number 1, 5 things you shouldn't block off with a wet floor sign. Jello. But do you think all of them are going to be quotes? I don't know. That's the possibility list for you this week. So, I was thinking to myself over the break, what? I want to find out if I'm a Mandela effect. If there's things that I remember doing that didn't actually happen in the show's airtime, in the show's running time. And I came up with one and thought I was a genius, thought it was brilliant that I actually came up with my own Mandela effect. Which was, I don't remember titling a video, "The Past is in the Past." And I was texting my friends, I'm like, why do I remember titling a video, "The Past is in the Past," but I can't find it? I was so proud, and then the next morning, I scroll down my playlist titled Episodes in Order. And in 2017, I in fact did a topic about the past, entitled it The Past is in the Past. Somebody's a Frozen fan, I swear. But next up was something I found while watching my videos over, because I tend to do that. I want to grow as a performer. It's not like I love myself, that's what mirrors are for. Okay, so I'm watching an episode from 2017 called When You Can't Believe Your Eyes. And in that episode, I start doing a riff about how when I went to high school, I took Disney's word for it. Take a look. I mean, I know when I was in 8th grade moving to high school, I had a very unrealistic concept of what high school was actually like. Yeah. Last time I take Disney's word for it, I tell you. I mean, I thought everyone got a locker. I thought you would have friends that you just hung out in the hallways with. Nothing like that. It's like a city. You're crowded. It's a wave of people. Yeah, one time I thought of throwing a beach ball over these people, and then it made like some big wave. That didn't go well. In fact, I got a demerit over that. Fictional Rob is the best, isn't he? I wish I did that in high school. And then watching it back, I was like, wait. I did a video recently where I did the same exact topic, but I thought I was being fresh with it. Take high school, for example, how it's like portrayed in all these shows. And, like, think about it. They had groups of kids, like, hanging by the lockers, and all this shenanigans would happen in the hallways. And, everyone dressed like, some sort of a JCPenney ad or something. And then once you hit your freshman year, to your surprise, it's all sweatpants and PDA, depending on if you went to a public school or not. Because, the private school kids are probably very confused, not gonna lie. But yeah, casually dressed kids. And, not everybody had a locker. Lockers were optional. Rob, look at you with your afro and white checkered shirt, thinking you're so bad, making fun of Disney for how they portray high school. You did it before. You ripped yourself off, Rob. Pat yourself on the back, and no, take it back. I mean, it's not like I come onto the show and then someone just yells at me, Simpsons did it! Because then I'm like, no doubt in the world Simpsons got to it before me. They've been on for 30 years. Well, that is the show for you this week. You know how to follow me on social media. Until next time, I'm going to try to be more with it. Try to join things as they're happening. Because let's face it, Hot Girl Summer for me happened in January. Well, see ya.